Hey everyone, hope you've been doing well. I just recently finished reading the new book from Darren Hayes, Unlovable, and I thought this was an incredible book. So I'm gonna tell you what I think about it, tell you my favourite parts, and why I loved it so much. So anyway, here I go. So I bought this book at the Logan Hyperdome, which was literally only like a few kilometres from where Darren Hayes grew up, and it's where I was growing up for quite a long amount of time. And overall, I was really looking forward to this book. This was definitely my most anticipated book of the year. As you know, I'm a massive fan of Darren Hayes and all of his music and Savage Garden, and this was an incredibly satisfying read from start to finish. So it's basically an autobiography about Darren Hayes' life story, of him growing up with his abusive father, and his father is such a monster. I mean, he is such an awful person, and you can really see how much he hated him. It still does by reading his book. His father had literally not one positive thing to say about him through his entire childhood. It was basically just like the enemy put in place to just traumatize Darren, constantly calling him a faggot, worthless, that he would never amount to anything. And then of course Darren actually did become successful. He became famous, and as soon as he made Savage Garden, his dad was like, "Oh no, I love you now." But he always thought to himself, no, Savage Garden was my idea. Savage Garden was I was the reason Savage Garden was made, and he would hover around it and own it as himself. And it was just such a dick move, such a monstrous move from his father. But his mother was amazing. His mother was always there to protect him from the darkness of his father, and always love him and care for him, like nurture him and accept him for the way he is. And it really is amazing, just all the trauma he had to survive through and soldier on through, all coming from his horrible father. And anyway, the story continues with him, becoming passionate for music, being a massive fan of Michael Jackson and George Michael and like NXS and all of the popular bands that were making waves through the world and Australia at the time. It goes to the incredible like friendship he had with the owner of the Woodies music shop that he used to go to, and overall just a lot of references to like life around Brisbane, which I could definitely relate to since I grew up in Brisbane as well. And then it goes to how he met Daniel Jones, who would be the main guy of producing and making the music for Savage Garden, which Darren Hayes was the lead singer of. It goes through the story of its inception, its growth, its crazy success and worldwide fame that Darren and Daniel achieved. And then it goes into that Daniel was really triggered. He was really upset by the fame. He wasn't ready for it, and in like a funny way, basically it broke up with Daniel Jones saying to Darren Hayes that he saw himself on a shopping bag, and he was really insulted by the fact he was on a shopping bag, and it just wasn't the way he envisioned the fame, and that's basically what caused them to split apart. Of course, Darren was fuming mad, blaming him and saying he was selfish for wanting to split up the band just for him. Anyway, so Savage Garden splits up. It's very sad. And Darren Hayes continues his own career going solo. He talks about the incredible friendship he had with Willie Williams, which was a stage designer for the Affirmation World Tour stage, and he was already world famous for making a ton of really well designed stages for like U2 and Prince and Madonna, and it's overall just really interesting story of what went down between the both of them. Anyway, his story continues. He spirals into like a deep depression because he still is unable to come to terms with the fact that he is gay and that he always will be gay, and there's nothing that he could ever do or anyone could ever do to change that. And it goes through his relationship with his wife Colby, and then them realising that it's just not going to work out because Darren Hayes was naturally born homosexual and there's nothing that they could do to change that. He becomes a boyfriend to some guy called James, and they were partners for I think about 5-6 years. And then they break up, and then Darren Hayes finds his true partner. He lives in San Francisco for a while because he finds it comfortable there, and then he moves to New York. Then he moves back to San Francisco. Darren also did talk about the incredibly horrible trips that his father would take him on. You know, they were forced to sit in like the back loading van of the Ute, constantly just, you know, giving them beers while his father and his friend, I guess, didn't even acknowledge them. He took them way out into like the desert, and they shot kangaroos, and they would like just like shoot all these innocent animals, and they would like rip them open and like pull out the growing embryos that were inside them. And somehow his dad just thought this was the greatest thing ever. I mean, he really is a monster. Anyway, it goes. Let's see, what else does it go to? It basically just finishes with him, you know, going through his long hiatus between 2011 with the release of Secret Crabs and Battleships to 2022, where he was basically just really depressed and exhausted most of the time, unable to come to terms with being the way that he is. Him seeing his therapist, which was able to like you know, basically get him to face his trauma and get him to like heal and move past his trauma, which was great. And then it ends with him like sharing like one final exchange with his father, just basically saying that after all this time that he just realizes that he just hates him basically, and he thought that he would change and he thought that he would get any better, but he basically just says, I still think you're a faggot, and that's it. So his father's never going to change. He's always going to stay the same monstrous self that he is. It's kind of fascinating to see like how his father actually became that way, because surely no one is ever born that way. He probably had terrible parents of his own. I don't know. It didn't go into that, and I'm not going to search it up because I don't feel like I need to. Anyway, this was just an incredible autobiography from top to bottom about Darren Hayes. It's very personal, very deep, very honest look into the mind and side of what made the man, just how talented and why he became so famous, and all the shit he had to go through in order to get to that point, and just all the abuse he had to survive. Overall, I thought it was just an incredible book. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. It's definitely one of the best autobiographies and books I have read in recent memory. If you see this in the bookstore, I highly recommend that you go read it, because it's definitely a very interesting and very emotional and very enlightening read with a lot of revelations about Darren's life story. Overall, it's just a magnificent book from top to bottom. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my my book review of Darren Hayes. If you like my book reviews, definitely know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to make a few more of them. Anyway, as always, thanks for continuing to watch my channel. I really appreciate it. You're all awesome, and I know I'm not making as many videos as I used to. I'm just kind of I'm sort of taking a little bit of a break, but it doesn't mean I'm stopping altogether. I'll still make a video or two, maybe every 1 or 2 months, but overall, just thank you so much for continuing to watch the channel. I really appreciate it. I'll definitely review a few more movies. I think I'm going to watch Moana 2, because I'm really looking forward to seeing that. It looks like a really nice looking, well animated ocean movie, and I really did enjoy the first Moana. I might even review Red One, because I'm looking forward to that movie too. Anyway, I hope you all have a great Christmas. Hope you have a good one with family and friends. You guys are awesome, and girls, you're all awesome, and as always, thanks for watching. Take care.